we give like a disclaimer here?
What's the disclaimer? I'm serious, what do you mean?
Are we gonna say the word period?
You need a disclaimer in this country to say period? Okay, guys, the amount of time that I have talked about periods would shock you. Look, I didn't even really want to make this video, but then I thought about the amount of stress and pain that you have gone through for your whole life, and you didn't know what the answer was, and I'm figuring there's a lot of girls out there who are, you know, confused and feeling the same way. So that's why I was like, man, maybe we should actually do this.
Basically, I have dealt with debilitatingly painful periods since I was 11. I was always told it was normal.
Because it like prepares you for childbirth.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was told. It prepares you for childbirth. You're supposed to feel like you're in labor every single month. And so I kind of was like, okay, that seems logical, right? As a, 11, 12-year-old. As the years went by, I kind of had an idea that maybe this was not normal and that maybe this is not how this is supposed to be. Like, you're not supposed to be in debilitating pain every single month. So I, what do you do? I go to Google. I'm like, what's wrong with me? And
what is wrong with me?
Yeah, and endometriosis came up, severe pain, endometriosis. And I was like, oh, that must be what's wrong with me. But I didn't have all the classic symptoms. Like, if you search endometriosis and you look at the list of symptoms, I didn't have all of those symptoms. I basically just had pain. And so I was like, well, maybe that's not what I have. I did manage the symptoms. Like, I changed my lifestyle and my diet. I got to the point where it's like, as long as I had enough pain medicine and I can like anticipate, I kind of learned to anticipate. So I kind of did learn to live with it, but it was still like this big thing every single month. Is it really bad enough to do anything about? Because I feel better the rest of the month.
Then COVID hit, and that is when things just went downhill like really, really fast.
We're not talking about like
symptoms of COVID,
symptoms.
Yeah.
We're talking about like suddenly all of that horrendous pain that I experienced earlier in life before I got healthy just came back 100 times.
It was like almost uncontrollable.
It was very debilitating. No amount of pain medicine would touch it. It was like Jordan helping me into the bathtub because it was so bad. But long story short, I finally was like, I have had enough of this. Like, I can't go through this anymore. This is just outrageous. It's uncontrollable. And so I started again on Google. Like, I was like, where can I go? Because obviously just any doctor out there is not going to help me. I don't want to waste my time going through that again. Through that year of going through those COVID symptoms and long COVID and everything, that's when I really went hardcore in like, I need to balance my hormones. I need to do all of this. And I did. Like, I made a lot of progress in just that area of health, but still the pain was just not being touched. So that's when I realized I needed to find a doctor to help me out. I found a group on Facebook, of all places, called Nancy's Nook. And this is a really great resource with actual accurate information about endometriosis, because what I found is that there is just so much bad information out there about endometriosis. Like, no wonder I took it off of myself that could possibly be it. And so through this group, I found a excision specialist, which is a surgeon who specializes in endometriosis. And so we traveled to Chattanooga to see him, and I have surgery scheduled.
But if you're interested in this, like Sarah's symptoms and how she kind of came to the realization that maybe she has endometriosis, we're going to talk all about all of her symptoms at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, the surgery really isn't that intrusive. They just make one incision through like your belly button, and then they kind of like do everything from somehow one incision point. But the recovery is like up to 6 months, so Sarah is going to be spending a lot of time on the Helix mattress.
Thank goodness we have Helix.
Yes. Helix has supported our channel for over 2 years now, and they're such a blessing to us because now it's really helping us out a lot with our travel and all these expenses that we didn't really foresee, and we are so thankful for them. Helix is a premium mattress in a box company that makes mattresses to fit your unique needs and preferences based on your body type and sleep style. With a lot of options for mattresses on their site, the way that they fit you with the perfect one for you is really unique, fun, and you should really do it. and it doesn't take long at all. They developed a sleep quiz, which is newly revamped, so if you've taken it in the past, definitely take it again because it's somehow even more fun.
It was so helpful for us because we were not sure which mattress would be right for us.
Because we are different sleepers. I am a unfortunate stomach sleeper, not great for your neck, and Sarah is a side sleeper. We both like slightly different firmnesses of mattresses. And so anyways, we took the sleep quiz together as a couple, which you can do on there, and we got the Helix Sunset Luxe mattress. It is a dream come true. Take their sleep quiz by clicking the link down in the description. The best part about this entire thing is that Helix delivers the mattress right to your door for free if you live in the US. It just comes rolled up in a box and it's super easy to set it up yourself. If it makes you nervous to buy something online, like that stuff kind of makes me a little bit nervous too, don't worry because Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you can make sure that the mattress truly is the perfect one for you. That's more than 3 months to make sure that you absolutely love it.
And if you somehow don't, they'll pick it up full refund.
Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty, and they even offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so the perfect night's sleep is literally available for everyone. They also sell awesome weighted blankets that are permanently connected to Sarah. You can't see it, but it's on her lap right now. It's hard to imagine you not sleeping with that. I want you to experience that first night like we did on the Helix mattress. We love our Helix, and we really think that you would too.
If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix.
You can click the link down in the description below or go to helixsleep.com/Jordan Taylor for up to $200 off your mattress and 2 free dream pillows. That's helixsleep.com/Jordan Taylor. Now let's get back to all of your symptoms just to make sure that, we are giving people good information.
And in case you don't know what endometriosis is, basically in a nutshell, it's that where your uterine lining, the tissue in the uterine lining is actually growing in other places of your body.
Just kind of goes out of whack.
It's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that's it in a nutshell. It's more complicated than that, but basically that's what it is. And so that causes a lot of problems. And actually, I knew that definition of endometriosis back from when I first learned about it. I didn't understand really how much that means for your entire body. So many people think that endometriosis is a disease of the uterus, and that it's like a menstrual cycle disease, and that's actually not true. It's a full body disease, and endometriosis, that tissue can be found in more than just in your pelvis. It can be found on your diaphragm. It's even been found in sinuses or in your brain, which is nuts. I'm pretty sure that's pretty rare, but it can actually happen, which is kind of crazy. And the more I started learning and digging about what real experiences of endometriosis were like, I was shocked that it wasn't just painful periods, that it was so much more than that. And it started to make a lot more sense about everything I've experienced through my entire life, really, where it's not just pain. I'm pretty lucky in that my pain is very, very severe at times. On a daily basis, I would say most days I do have pain, but it's relatively mild.
Or it gives you symptoms like you'll feel nauseated or...
Right. And so that's what I didn't know would happen, is that the daily nausea, it could be endometriosis even without pain going along with it. I always thought that nausea would come from the pain, but I have nausea separate from pain. I have so much fatigue. And again, I thought that fatigue with endometriosis was fatigue from pain, and that's not necessarily the case either. Now, I do see the two symptoms go hand in hand in that when I'm in more pain, I'm going to experience more of the other symptoms, but it really shocked me just how debilitating just all of the symptoms together could be until I learned, it's so much more than just period pain. And I was just shocked to find that out. And so that's a lot of what I experienced, and kind of why I discounted endometriosis for me is because the one thing was that I have not really had heavy periods throughout my life. I've had pretty easy periods other than being extremely painful, but they're not super heavy. And so I thought that had to be a symptom that went with it. I thought it was endometriosis is heavy periods and pain, and I only had the pain. And so if you're having painful periods at all, that's not normal. If I could go back to my 11-year-old self, 11, 12, all through the years, I would say no amount of pain is actually normal. And I feel like that's so unusually to say, because I feel like even just in society we're told like, oh, it's normal to be, you know, have cramps and pain on your period, and it's actually not at all. And there's something else going on, even if it's not endometriosis, if it's a hormonal imbalance or whatever it is. And so I'm excited to have surgery, just because I feel like I'm finally, I guess, gonna close the book on this,
that.
hopefully. And I think that's another important thing that I didn't know. Like, when you look up endometriosis, a lot of times you'll hear that you're going to have multiple surgeries, and that...
Because there's different kinds of methods. There's 2 different methods of extracting this. One is like, they literally burn it out of you.
Ablation, and you don't want that.
It's called ablation. And then there's another one where like a excision specialist actually goes through and like cuts it out and has to do it a very specific way. And so it just so happens that we live nearby in Chattanooga, not very far away from here, to somebody who is like one of the top like specialists around. So that is a huge blessing in and of itself.
Proper treatment is so important, but you really have to go to the right person. I had to dig deep to find somebody who would treat it how I knew it needed to be treated, and that was difficult.
Yeah.
Also, especially being like, so in a way, I'm really glad that I had been so dismissed by those other doctors through the years, because they had no idea what they were doing. And so I'm glad that they did not offer me any kind of treatment, because it would have been wrong. It would have been the wrong treatment. And I'm happy that I honestly got to learn everything I got to learn through the years about hormone health, because it's just honestly, even though it didn't take care of the pain, it's like it helped me overall, and it kind of led me to where I am now. So it does have a silver lining, even though just the past year and a half especially have been incredibly frustrating.
Well, and it was weird, because when we walked in there, I told him, I was like, yeah, and it's the surgeon, I was like, yeah, it's weird. Her symptoms seem to have gotten like way worse after COVID, after she got that. And he just looked at us and he was like, you would not believe how many people come in here and say that exact thing. So who knows what's really going on with this stuff, guys? Like, that really was freaky.
So somehow it's connected. I'm not really sure how yet. And I feel like there's still so many questions I have that are unanswered about endometriosis itself. So I'm still kind of learning about that. But
right, there's something weird going on. And I'm not just saying it's just like COVID or whatever. Like, there's something about life now in this long period of time that we live in our generation. There's something weird going on for probably many reasons. That's all coming together, and now everyone is kind of messed up, because a lot of women have this, and a lot of them don't know that they have it, because
1 in 10, they say 1 in 10 women.
And oftentimes, like, you know, it just might be in your family. So like your mother might have had it, and so she thinks that it's normal, like the amount of pain that you have, because that's what she had. And so it's like, and so no one ever gets to the bottom of it until somebody kind of breaks out of the mold and is like, wait, there's got to be something wrong here. So that's kind of the whole kit and caboodle.
If you feel like you are like, oh wow, that might be what I'm dealing with, don't compare your symptoms to mine, because I feel like that's what kept me from seeking out more, because I was comparing my symptoms to everyone else's. And it turns out you can have so many different symptoms from endometriosis. It all depends on where that tissue is growing and what it's attaching to.
Which makes total sense. It could be attached to something else, like, say, your colon, and it could mess up your digestive system.
IBS can also is a very, very common symptom of endometriosis.
It could be attached to something else and, like, just give you really bad cramps. It all just depends on where it's connected to, and that's why it's so hard to kind of, like, get a proper, like, symptoms to go down that rabbit hole of, like, oh, this is probably what I have.
Because it can look so different from one person to another. And I really felt confirmation in how I was feeling when I found one person. Like I said, I've watched, like, every video, like, on YouTube about this, of people telling their stories, and I found one video that I actually related to, and it was someone saying that she had severe pain induced by exercise. And that hit home to me, because I have always struggled with severe pain being induced, or cramps being, or what I called cramps being induced by exercise. So I'd always have to go really, really slow. And
well, like, you know how when you run, you get what they call a side stitch or whatever, where you feel like kind of an uncomfortableness like in your side. Oftentimes that can be like when you've eaten or whatever. But yeah, that would just happen to Sarah, and we would just chalk it off as like, oh, it's just that. But it was like more extreme. It was different. And
like I'd be doubled over.
Yeah, like I remember one time in particular, we had like run or something at the park nearby, and then when we got in the car, it was like you were having a period.
It
was like so painful,
extremely severe. And
yeah, the cramping was that bad.
Yeah,
so
when
that's
I
when
tell
it was
people,
like, what?
I was like, look, I know I've never like been in labor, but I can't imagine that this doesn't feel like labor pains. And in fact, I've heard women who have had babies and do have endometriosis, and they will sometimes say that their endometriosis pain is worse than their labor pains. So I'm like, I feel like it is, it's so bad. And I was always like kind of confused by when I would have these outbursts of this extreme pain.
That's kind of what's going on around here. That surgery is going to be in February.
Not soon enough.
Not soon enough, because this guy is extremely busy all the time with this. Because again, there's a lot of people that have it.
And I would like to add too that I have a clinical diagnosis right now, just because my symptoms, like the surgeon didn't show any hesitation that like this is what it is.
Right.
But I do have a clinical diagnosis. There's really no way to get a true diagnosis until you have surgery. So that's a little nerve-wracking. We'll actually find out like officially if it's endometriosis and like what degree that is in February. So that's a little nerve-wracking as well.
So just keep us in your prayers, and we'll let you guys know what happens afterwards and give another update after surgery, I guess. I don't want anybody to have to go through what Sarah went through. That's why we wanted to make this video, because it has been hell at times. So thank you guys so much for watching. Get your Helix mattress. For if you have surgery, then you can sleep on it. See you guys. Bye.